At Business Alchemy Unleashed, we share actionable information with female entrepreneurs to scale their business efficiently while building a community of women who keep it real and build boss businesses. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. I'm Charlotte Gold and I'm here with my co-host Quinna Water. And I am so excited for today's episode on identifying your core operations in preparation for scalability. Quinna, what do you spend your time on in in a day in your business? What are you spending the most time on?
I would say that for me, the very top thing that I spend the most time on is definitely content creation, which is video editing takes me a lot of time, and putting together different resources like articles for the blog that we have, as well as different yeah, I mean those are the big ones, just creating like social media content in general, putting together posts, and that just ends up taking a lot of time. I like to come up with content that I think that my audience is going to relate with, and so doing research in different areas. And yeah, sometimes the recording, I feel like definitely recording is it's time consuming for sure. How about you? Is there what do you end up spending the most time on your day?
I would say for me, organic growth strategies, which include a lot of that content creation, right? Because posting on social media is really how online businesses are growing right now. Um, I spend time in a couple different networking groups as well. I have a local networking group that's just women in my county, and we get together maybe like 3 times a month. And what I really like about that is it's kind of the long game, right? Like I'm not there asking for the hard sale. It's more about building relationships and then nurturing those relationships. So that's really time consuming. I'm on the phone with a lot of those women, when they have a quick question about something that they know that I can help them with, which generally is not a quick question. But I love it because I building relationships is so important to me, but it is a time consuming, aspect of building business. And then, like I said, social media, I mean, like you're talking about creating content, it is so time consuming, but it's so important. And then, you're posting across so many different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, you know what I mean? Like all these different things. And it really is time consuming. It's so worth it, but you want to make sure that you're consistently building that know like trust factor with your audience. You need to make sure that you're um, in front of your audience so they're not forgetting about you, even if you're just posting like an inspirational post or like a pretty picture of the sunset today, which I got, by the way. I'll have to send that picture to you because we had the not the sunset but the sunrise was so beautiful this morning. It's just important to keep your name in front of everybody so that when you do start asking for that sale, you know what I mean, they already know you, they already like you, they already trust you, and they're ready to buy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely say that the social media posting is such an important organic growth strategy because so many people are on social media. And so being able to not only share information that is valuable with your audience so that they, learn to know what to come to you about, but also like sharing more of, your own personal experience. And that's something that I've been really trying to lean into more. We were talking about this earlier around just like finding ways to incorporate more of my own authenticity into that. And it's crazy how sometimes, we can come up against these fears of like, or blocks or like just reasons why to separate business from personal. And what it comes down to is that you can't separate yourself. Like it's just not sustainable. And so being able to share those, those personal stories and kind of incorporate more of that like lifestyle. I definitely really want to create more content around, a day in the life of or like personal beliefs and sharing more of those personal stories. Do you find that you're able to share any personal stories within your content?
Yeah, absolutely. And what I was just going to say to you is the people that I find myself following and the people that I find myself purchasing from are the people who show up imperfectly, the people who show up how they are, where they are in the middle of their chaos. They're not trying to portray, this perfect hair and makeup, perfect lighting, like professional videography. It's like we're all human beings. We all are living some sort of a chaotic life, right? So those are the people that I really appreciate following. So I definitely try to use some of those strategies in my social media as well. And then what I also wanted to say is people value you because of who you are. You know what I mean? Not you, but I just mean like in general, people are valued and everybody has something to say that somebody's going to relate to, that's going to resonate with somebody. And you never know who that's going to be, how that's going to touch somebody, and how that potentially creates more clients for your business, right? Because that person is going to resonate with something that you said and be like, oh my gosh, Quinna is so amazing. I have to follow her. Is she on YouTube, on TikTok? Like, I gotta follow all her stuff. I'm gonna consume everything. And then she's gonna tell everybody about you. And sometimes I feel like sometimes that's the difference. Like I'm on TikTok a lot. So I feel like sometimes that's the difference between somebody who has been trying to grow their account and then that's what makes them go viral is being super vulnerable in a post.
That makes so much sense. And I think that's a really great question to ask. Like when you are creating that content, like what do you value in other people's content? What magnetizes you to somebody? And then, asking yourself how you can bring more of that into your own content to be like, okay, how can I share those components of myself as well? And I think, in addition, it weeds out the people who don't like your personality. Like you don't want to work with people who don't like you. And so being able to share yourself more openly and authentically, I think it'll magnetize the right people to you and, expel the people who don't vibe with you. So I think that's kind of like it just does some of that qualification for you.
I love that you just said that because I know I'm not for everybody. But if I don't let people see who I am, I'm not going to weed out those people. And I don't want to work for the people that I'm not for. You know what I mean? It's just going to be constant butting heads in the working relationship. I don't want to work with those types of people. So I think that's another reason it's important to, let your personality shine through. But this is also another huge thing about why this is so time consuming, right? Because I know you actually are very methodical about the way that you plan out your social media. I mean, you take time to come up with topics and you outline, and I mean, you are very methodical in the way that you do it. And I think that that really shows through in your social media posts, especially your reels, your videos. You can just really tell that they're really thought out. Whereas some people, you can also tell when they just throw something together on the fly and haven't really put any thought into it. I mean, you can definitely make videos kind of on the fly, but you know the difference between the people that are just trying to throw crap out there to just make sure that they're out there and the people who have actually put some time and effort and thought into it. So I think that that all shows through and people appreciate the effort.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think the other thing that is important to note is that there's a lot of people who are looking for ways to stand out. And when you do bring your full self, like that's how you stand out, right? There is nobody who is exactly the
Absolutely.
same. So, there we often overthink, how we're putting ourselves out there. But I think the more that we just press go, the more that we're able to kind of get that feedback for what's resonating and what we should put more time and energy into. But to kind of get back on topic, I think that one of the other areas that I end up spending a decent amount of time in is financial management. And what that looks like for me is kind of documenting everything around what I am spending and like what money's coming in, what money's going out, and kind of organizing that so that I'm prepared for taxes when tax season arrives. And yeah, what I end up doing is creating spreadsheets where I don't have like any of those super fancy, like software for all of that, but I just create spreadsheets and write down like all of my monthly or weekly expenses that are coming in and going out. And I just have two, one for business and one for personal. Do you
I love that.
do any type of financial management type of stuff or?
I probably need to get better at doing kind of a spreadsheet thing. I just have separate accounts for different things, right? And I immediately take off the top of everything that comes in, the percentage that goes into each account. And I use this one, that's just a savings account for taxes, like you said, because that's a very, very scary thing. And then I've got like a business expenses and kind of like a business savings. So what is nice about our business is we don't have a lot of overhead. So there's not a lot of money going out, which is nice. But as far as like equipment and paying for software, paying for VAs, I mean, that kind of stuff, so definitely planning for all of those things and planning for the future. I definitely want to implement a lot of stuff that's going to cost money in the future. So definitely holding on to a lot of that money just in a savings account that's separate from it's a separate bank. So I don't even see it when I log into my app. You know what I mean? So that helps me. Yeah, that definitely helps me too. I think we have some resources though for implementing some of these things. Do you have some of those?
The resource is an article on core operations identification and a guide on how you can do that to determine what you're spending the most time on in your business, and so that you can start to kind of streamline those processes and take some of that time back. And I think we also have an actionable step, Charlotte.
Yeah, I think that's what we were talking about with the spreadsheet. Just coming up with a pretty basic financial plan for how you're going to keep track of business expenses, income, other business expenses. Thanks for joining us in today's episode of Business Alchemy Unleashed. If you enjoyed today's content, please rate and review us. If there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover, don't hesitate to leave us a comment below. Until next time.